Hello. Oh, wait, hold on. Now, hello and welcome to Sue Rogers Unedited. I am Sue Rogers, and I have not a longtime friend. This is basically family. My good friend Amanda. We go way the frick back, like
I'd say at least 30 years, because 10 were younger.
I think you were younger
Okay.
than 10
Okay.
the first time I met you.
Okay.
Running
So
around
looking,
this place.
yeah, so we're looking at 36 years.
Yeah, long time. Our parents were military friends. So
Military families, you know how that goes.
if you guys don't know that about me, I grew up hanging out on military bases a ton, and that's how we met.
Yep.
And basically, I know I talk about it in my book, but friends that would give each other the shirt off their backs.
Oh God, yeah. I mailed you a bathing suit from another state.
Yeah.
So we can wear it at some point, someday.
Yes.
Today might be someday, but that's not.
Yes, and there may be photo evidence of this. Oh my gosh. So Amanda, tell us a little bit about you. And we have some fun topics to talk about today that are super random. But I think
Yeah,
kind of funny.
On par per se.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also am a military child, and that's how we met. I used to live in California, but I moved to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and am now an executive chef at Lake Girls School. Yeah,
That's right, Chef Amanda.
yeah, but that's what I don't know what else to be. I'm a chef now.
Gosh, yeah, and we'd hang out while she was going to school in San Francisco.
Yeah.
We would go hang out, and the only rave I've ever been to in my entire life was with Amanda and my sister. And
I feel like people should experience that once in their life. It's a very weird place.
Yeah, that's exactly why we went. We're like, screw it.
Yeah, you gotta try it.
We gotta go to one.
And it was the safest one, I feel. It was very commercialized at the conference center. Yeah, you know what I mean? It was like the city of San Francisco's like community building. It wasn't some random dude's basement.
Tell me you've not been to one of a random dude's basement. That sounds too specific for you to not.
I think we might have ended up there and been like, how did I get in random dude's basement?
Okay.
Maybe more of an after party type scene. But that one I took Liv to was definitely in like a church basement in Pittsburgh. So that's why I said I'd never been either. So it was very odd. Yeah. So definitely in some weird empty places, basements and warehouses included. Yeah. Those in the warehouses were a little odd too.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So other odd things that we have, we were just reminiscing about, because we haven't seen each other face to face in how long?
I haven't seen you since you got married.
And my 20-year anniversary is in January.
Yep. Because I was at your bridal shower and that was it.
Yeah. Freaking, and that was probably about this, getting close to this time of year. 20 years ago. Clearly we've kept in touch.
Obviously.
Thanks to, not just phones, but social media. That's the one thing I freaking love about social media too. Like, yeah, your mom was out here a few years ago.
She just, we're just keep in touch.
But yes, so in this actual room that we're in this house that we're in, because this is the house that I grew up in, and my husband and I purchased it from my parents, and now it's a whole compound life going on out here.
Definitely is. I've been walking from yard to yard to yard, house to house to house all morning. That's why we were sitting up there this time. Like, oh, just walk over here now.
Yeah, which was like the best thing ever during stupid pandemic.
Oh yeah, I would think.
Because we were all here. But we used to play the freaking Ouija board. So we're gonna get into all of that right now too.
Yeah.
Like you were just saying, very like spiritual. Like I still have a very strong faith, but there are other things that like aren't taught in a regular ass religion that are real things happening in the world.
Yeah.
On many levels. I've really gotten into all the levels of consciousness lately as well,
Mhm.
because there's so much more to it than just, here's this book, follow the rules, follow whatever your preacher, pastor, whoever says, and ask for forgiveness for all your, like, there's so much more to it than,
To me, there's so much more out there in the world in general on a daily basis that I face that is not depicted in that book.
yeah,
So I'm learning to navigate my religious beliefs and spirituality through how I live it every day, not how it reflects on or how I show other people I do it.
yeah.
Because it doesn't matter if my mom knows I pray or you know I pray, it's what I know.
Mhm.
And if what I see. And then as I live off an energy base,
Mhm.
my life is very much driven through the environment, the people and the places I surround myself with, where my energy comes from.
Yeah.
And so I believe in karma. I believe in if you manifesting what you want, put it out there and work toward that thing, those things can be given back to you. So
Same.
Yeah.
Same Z's.
yeah, that's why it's not, I haven't always felt that way. So it's definitely been within
Yeah.
the last probably 5 years that going from just, okay, yeah, I believe in Jesus. So what? Like to who am I? What do I want to put out into the world? What do I want to reap? What do I want to sow?
Yeah, yeah.
Because if I'm not putting it out there, I'm not gonna get it back.
Right there with you. And there's so much that, like, there's a book that I read, Immortality Key. I'll have to show you the actual book later, but it basically is this guy who did a really deep dive and tons of research on how there is so much missing from the Bible that is hidden underground under the Vatican that they don't want us to know about.
Well, and it's written, like somebody chose what to write down.
How many times has it been reinterpreted? How many times has it been reinterpreted by men to benefit them, as opposed to looking at all of us and bringing all of our strengths and weaknesses together to make everyone better? Like,
And I feel that way with like male, female, black, white. It's a person, and a person is a person. And that's what the higher power is looking at. It's not looking at all of those other things. And those other things, good, bad, or indifferent, are the struggles that your soul is dealing with in that moment.
Mhm.
If you needed to feel what it was like to be, unfortunately, a different race or a different social class, that's because you're learning from that experience to take back with you into your soul and to make your soul a better person. It's like I might have been a squirrel one time because I needed to start as something small and energetic and full of life to become who I am as a person now.
Yeah.
And I'm still going to be a better person the next time around, because I don't think we go anywhere in the sense we're energy. We go somewhere.
Right. Or like the concept too of like your consciousness comes back in to another.
It picks.
To learn a lot.
Yeah, you're a vessel. You like just like you are a vessel of the spiritual realm, like because it never ends. So when you don't die, your body stops working.
Right.
But everything else does something else.
Yeah.
And until that happens, or now I feel like I said without I'm crazy, but like you start to realize maybe I am learning this now and I'm getting it, and that's why I went through all the stuff I must have gone through before.
Yeah.
Where I wouldn't have assumed that was the thing before.
Yeah.
But you just ask me stuff and I say like, no, I was a squirrel in New Orleans across from the Cafe de Monde in the square, living my best life. I don't know why, I just did that. That's a statement. And when we went to New Orleans and I went with my husband, I always just said New Orleans. And I went with him and we walked to the square and we were eating the Cafe de Monde beignet, and I just looked over and I said, right there, that's it.
Yeah.
This is where I lived. And he was like, wait, what? And I was like, there's street performers, there's music, there's life, and there's sugar directly across the street, sugary pastries. I'm like, I lived here. This is what. But now next time around, I don't know. You know what I mean? And if you're drawn to certain time periods in life for yourself, that I feel like that might reflect a point in my subconscious that I remember. Like, why do I really enjoy 50s rockabilly style music, outfits? I am drawn to that.
You always have been.
Always have been my entire life. Like vintage is my thing.
Yeah.
I'm an old soul. Was that because I was already there once? And now this is 1980s version.
Yeah.
Now I get to see in 20 years from now, 40 years from now, God forbid, you know what I mean? Like, do I get to find what the 2040 version is like?
Yeah.
And is it really like us as a whole being that just continues? So when the world implodes, or a ice age comes, or a catastrophe, we start over again. Where do we start?
Which is like so wild. And if you guys are listening to this and thinking that we're cuckoo, go ahead.
Yeah.
Because it's easier to think someone is crazy than to actually look into it and question your own beliefs.
And I look into it. Like, I'm not just like,
yeah. If I hear something and I'm like, well, this one's kind of different, but let me look into it, because I'm not right about everything. You're not right about everything.
I don't know anything.
None of you guys are listening are right about everything. Like there's so much that we don't know and we won't ever know. Yeah. But like, I'm a huge believer in like your gut instincts.
I think that's what's kept me safe this long, because you know me, and based on a lifestyle that I have chosen to just be around, I guess, not so much live, but be around and be a part of. I didn't expect to live past 30. I just didn't.
Look at you.
And here we are, and like, what am I going to do now? But what I mean by that is there's something else out there. There's more to that that's pushing forward with whatever I subconsciously is planning on happening. There's a plan. There's something. There's something that's kept me alive. There's a reason I didn't die at 15 in a car accident. Like, there's a reason behind things. And I want to find out what those reasons are. I don't want to cut it short.
Yeah.
And not get to like play it out.
Yeah. We should not ask the Ouija board. But you guys, I was actually just telling Sid, I was like, because my kids just met Amanda.
Which is really weird, because I watched them grow up and now they're old and in college.
But I was telling Sid, I was like, she's the one that we used to play the Ouija board, and me and you and Brenda all slept in a twin bed together one night because we were so scared after playing the Ouija board. And we were like in high school.
No, not that one. Probably like eighth grade, because it was 8th grade.
Okay.
You were in high school, because when it was all said and done, I left it at my friend's house in California for her and her sister, because I was scared of it. So there was a hot second of like, from the time we played it till I played it with my friend and her sister at her house, I didn't like it anymore. And that's where it lived. I don't know what happened to it. I don't know where it went. Gone. So there was a small window in which we used it, it was scary, and it disappeared.
Yeah. So ridiculous. But like, I can even remember what kinds of stupid stuff.
Oh, I do.
Well,
no, it's not so much the stupid stuff, like, because again, I've done research now and looked into things, not this.
No, it's a stupid question we asked it.
Oh, well, like,
who am I gonna be?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
My next boyfriend.
Yeah. Am I ever gonna be allowed to dye my hair pink? Sue's gonna say no.
Yeah. Not this Sue.
No, not this one.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, we played it here, scared ourselves. But okay, so tell me more about what you learned about the Ouija board and what else you were doing.
Yeah. So like I said, so I did some research, but over time, I like, again, I'm afraid of it. That's it. The end. Well, then in my spare time, after my mom's boyfriend passed away, I saw him as a ghost. And that's the thing that set me over the edge. Now, I wouldn't usually say that out loud. Again, don't want to look crazy, but it's one of those moments if someone was ever to say to you, have you ever had a paranormal experience? My answer is going to be yes, when I physically saw my mom's dead boyfriend, looking well and not scary, but in his physical vehicle in our driveway after he passed away, probably like 6 months.
Okay.
And it's like, I would have never, ever in a million. It happened. It is what it is. Whatever. So since then, I've been doing research and looking into it and finding out, how this works. And so since I've been, my mom, she's a little off. My first tarot reading, I was 9. Okay. Sue always had tarot readers around.
How did I not know that?
She's always,
Okay.
like when her and my dad got divorced for Easter and she was really, really upset and hating like religion and her life and all that, we went and had our numbers read on Easter instead of participating in a traditional Easter activity. It was me, her, and Olivia, and I was back from college, and she drove us down. Olivia was like 3, so we just had this baby. So I watched her, and Sue watched her while we each got our numbers read. Like she has always been into supernatural, whatever you want to call it, spiritual. She has no tarot cards. She's never used them. She's never been like that. But she's always. We've been to one at the fair. Do you remember at the California Mid-State Fair? Those trailers. She got her. She told, I think once or twice they've gone in there and had like their fortunes read by the fortune teller.
Well, okay.
So it's always been a theme in my life.
Okay.
And after he died, like so they started like looking into things, and I really wanted to start ghost hunting because I thought there's something out there. I would like to connect with it. And I've had feelings or issues that later people have brought up that make more sense now that someone has said something to me that I never would have thought of before. If that makes sense. So it's definitely like a life recognition type deal. That I have always known things before I was supposed to know them, or just I know them and I don't know why I know them. So, like the one time I knew when my friend was pregnant, 2 weeks before she told anyone. I had a dream about it. I didn't say anything. She called me 2 weeks later. Now we're not even friends. We're friends like me and you are. Haven't seen her. Don't. It's not like, oh, you look bigger or you look. Literally, I woke up one morning and said, Tammy's pregnant. And they've been trying to get pregnant for a very long time. And it wasn't one of those things where they've been trying for a while. Like it just was one of those, I woke up and I just knew. Like 2 weeks later, she put it all over the internet. And I was like,
yeah.
But then I've had other feelings where they've been really bad. So my friend choked to death, and I feel like I felt it the day before. Like, and if I wish I could have gotten more information out of the scenario to have been able to be like, oh, this is gonna happen to so and so. So I don't know who it happened. Like at the moment, it happened to me. I physically almost choked to death in my mom's kitchen. If she hadn't been there, I would have died because in that moment I thought I don't know how to save myself.
Oh yeah.
And it was just traditional, just choked on food. You know, she gave me the Heimlich and we kept it moving.
Jeez.
It was scary, but it was like, you know, we kept up. The very next day, my friend called and told me her little sister had choked to death the night before while they were all asleep. So that made me feel very uncomfortable and weird in my skin because I am starting to correlate feeling and knowing things before I'm supposed to, and I couldn't do anything about it. In that moment, it made me feel very, very helpless.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to find a way to make how I feel on the daily basis empowering instead of scary, because it was like, I don't like knowing stuff. Like I don't want to know things if that's the kind of things I'm gonna know in advance.
Yeah.
And I can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
So that caused me then to even look into it more.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to see what that meant for me. So I actually have like a regular psychic I see every like, and not every like I went and saw her in October of last year. Sometimes every 6 months, sometimes not for 3 years. She was at my bachelorette party. That's what my mom's friend got us. She read our cards for our wedding, like the whole thing. So for me, what we were doing with that Ouija board in that moment is we were allowing our energy to connect to something. And it wasn't something in your house. It wasn't a scary ghost that was bothering you.
No.
But what I found out later is it's like you're opening a door to anything. Instead of us being like, oh, we think we're gonna get, they're gonna tell you whatever you want to hear.
Yeah.
So for us, they told you it was a kid named Mosher. And it was a boy. And it related to like, you guys are like, maybe it might be our relative. Like it was playing on our naiveness and our innocence.
Yeah.
To continue to draw out of us what it wanted.
Yeah.
There was an end game for it, not for us.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And our fear and our spending the night huddled together in a bed was absolutely whatever that thing wanted in that moment. We allowed in and gave whatever, and it wasn't per se malicious, because like I said, I feel like there's tricksters, there's good people, there's bad people, there's demon, like there's a whole list of things, but when we open that door, we don't open it and say, oh, can you please just send me the ghosts of my ancestors?
Yeah.
It's not how it
That's
works.
true.
Yeah, and then the person shows up and says, hey, I'm your cousin Brian's cousin's John Mosher. And you're like, oh, okay. And then you let them in, and it's about putting your guard down and allowing other things to use your energy.
Yeah.
And I think that after the fact, that it's never dumb and scary, but I know I wasn't moving
No, no.
it, and it moved. It
We're
looked like,
all
and
stop doing it.
to me, it legitimately plays the game. You are, no, you are. So if I know I didn't do it, and you know you didn't do it, then we have to believe something else did it.
Right.
What's the something else? So where people are like, they're bad, so you just have to be prepared. Like you have to know, like open it, close it, use it respectfully as any other tool that we now use in the ghost detection department. Which sounds silly, but I have a list of things I use when we go ghost hunting.
Ghost detecting.
Yeah, like I have a whole collection.
Oh,
Because so then when I first started like ghost hunting, like I went to Gettysburg with my cousin and I saw the shadow of the Civil War.
right, 'cause that's supposed to be like
Super haunted. So I was like, if I don't see something here, then it's a joke. No, I legit saw just the shadow, and it was the hat specifically of like the Civil War, where it was like a square top with like a square bill. Out a window against a wall where no one could be standing.
Yeah.
It was too high, too tall, like in the room with me. Then we had like an EVP, which is an electric voice phenomenon, where you would record it, they'll maybe talk in the dead space and then you can hear it. You can't hear it, but the EVP picks it. So they had given us equipment and we were out and it gave us answers, or you know what I mean? Like, and again, I was there with someone very religious, and she still was like, And I said, that's my point. I don't, it's the it's not the why. And so the more that happened, the more I started wanting to do it myself. So, because before they would provide you the tools, or you would, so I started looking into it. Like I watched all the shows. The equipment like I carry around now is like a voice recorder. We were laughing the other day because cat toys, they're a ball that if you touch it, it lights up.
Yeah.
If you set that out there and they want to, they can touch it and it'll light up.
Freaking cat toy.
It's all it takes.
Okay.
My husband came home the other day and he had like this laser level. And he's like, what? I was like, it's perfect because if you sit on the floor, projects on the wall, laser level. Well, if anything breaks that laser, it goes black. So it sounds dumb when you sit in the dark and you stare at a wall with a laser beam on it. But if it blacks out, why did it black out?
Yeah.
If it blacks out in a pattern like that walks by and kind of looks human-like, that's interesting, is it not?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a pseudoscience, and I really like science.
Yeah. No, it's fascinating.
And
stuff.
and again, me, but and I know other people in the world have feelings. When you go into certain places, you don't want to be there. When you go around certain people and you don't want to be around them,
100% feel that.
and instead of ignoring it, instead of just I want to embrace and be a part of that. Like,
Yeah. So I feel like so many people are numb to those feelings and intuition of things. But if I go somewhere and I'm like, immediately, like, no, guys, I gotta bail. I gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
I don't like the feel of this environment at all. And sometimes it's just massive crowd.
oh yeah,
People.
you just don't know what's going on. Like, there's too much. I feel like it's loud. It reverberates. It's like you're inside of something, and then it's like wah, 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 all of their stuff, and you're like, I can't do my stuff because your stuff is shoving in. So,
Yeah.
and I've gone as far as like when I've gone to a psychic. It's a little weird. So I had a psychic that once tell me like I needed to set up boundaries because I couldn't sleep for a long time. I assume medically, blah 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 blah. And he's like, no, because they're bothering you all night. They're showing up in your dreams. They're showing up in your wherever. Like, your subconscious is handling this stuff the entire time you're asleep. So you need to put your wall up and be like, listen, you really need to talk to me. Can you talk to me between 9 and 5?
Yeah.
But it was about guarding myself and putting boundaries in place to allow me to rest because I was never resting. And then since I've been ghost hunting and stuff though, I ended up with an attachment which I didn't know I had, and not like in a bad way, like was because for what I didn't know I had, the norm, but I had gone to my psychic because she does Reiki things. So I do that stuff. I do crystals, I do baths, I do groundings, I do energy work. So it's not like I go get my card, not like tell me my future. Like it's a whole lifestyle. Like right now, I'm actually like unedited. Unedited. I got a crystal in my bra.
Yeah.
It's just something I have found I enjoy. I like it, makes me feel good.
I have a couple necklaces and
Yeah, but it just is. I don't know why.
it's good energy.
Yeah.
Like, and it's stuff that I'm sure our ancestors
would have used or ground up and wore as a powder on their face or put in their drinks or
but instead,
right.
I feel like such a fucking hypocrite right now because I hardly ever drink Starbucks anymore, but I'm drinking this toxic bullshit. And
it makes me feel better.
I'm like drinking this toxic bullshit.
I used to be a Coke bullshit. So the fact that I'm here like, look at my bubbly makes me feel like a hypocrite too. So like we switched our personalities just for the today. Because like
today only.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because like I said, I usually this would not be, but
maybe once a month do I drink this toxic garbage bullshit. But you guys, it's like the not any better because skinny means that it has the sugar-free toxic bullshit syrup, but it doesn't have all the sugar and carb count in it. And it's the smallest size you can possibly get, and I have it maybe once a month because moderation.
Yeah,
you have things in fucking moderation, even if it's bullshit. And
I can have a piece of pizza. I can't have a piece of pizza every day because, like, at work, I'm a chef, so fried chicken tenders are available to me every day at work.
Oh God, if you ate that every day, you would feel like trash.
And it's hard not to because you love that stuff,
right? And
it's hot and it's right there, and I can put it on a tortilla and cover it in cheese. Like it is a whole thing, but you have to put yourself in that mindset that yes, I can have that once a week.
Yes.
The rest of the week I've got to find other things. It's got to be cheeses and plain meat proteins and a banana. Like you've got to stop. I'm just gonna eat these 2 chicken wraps. It's food.
Food is not food.
Really bad food.
Yeah. The food that tastes good, but there's also food that tastes good that's actually helping heal your body, or you're eating the food that tastes good that is doing nothing but damage to your body. Like you have to learn this stuff and make those choices.
And I live a lot of clean eating in the sense that I don't need to have like oil on my vegetables. I can just roast them with a little bit of seasoning. My proteins, things like that, because I'm working with the diet students, the culinary or at the college. You had to learn ways around stuff like that. So I spent the last 7 years adjusting food. So now I also live like that. Like last night I sat down to dinner and it was hard to explain to like some people, like I wasn't gonna eat a sandwich. I just took the meat and I just ate the meat. Because for me, that makes me feel better. That's what I want. That's what my body's craving. My body is not craving that hunk of bread with mayonnaise slathered all over it.
We have reversed roles right now because I totally ate the roll with the mayonnaise and barbecue sauce on it, which I never do, you guys. But last night for me, I was like,
and it was good, and that's how everybody eats it. That's the norm. And I don't usually like tri-tip because people don't cut it thin enough, and it's usually not seasoned well enough.
My parents,
it was amazing. I'm going to tell you right here on her podcast, her dad's tri-tip, to die for.
We can't eat it anywhere else because we're like, as good as my dad.
And now I get it because, and like when he said, Brenda, you're gonna cut it. And I was thinking, maybe I should cut it. Like I didn't want to get involved as a chef. Like, hey, that's the one thing I do really good. It was perfect. Brenda, you cut it great. Ray, you cut it good. Cooked it good.
Yeah.
And I went back for seconds. But then again, I had to take it apart and eat it very clean into myself. But I'm okay with that. I know how I eat. I don't expect other people to eat like me.
Yeah. And like with how much I've worked with people too, because like when Cole first came home from the hospital,
no bread,
we went super low carb for him, and it worked amazing to get his A1C down so fast in 4 months. And he would just ask me, "Okay, mom, like, what's good here? Like, what are we?" Because we had a goal of, I think we aimed for 20 grams of carbs or less per meal. And then his snacks So he could have whatever snacks, because when we first came home, he had dropped down to 131 pounds.
Oh my
Like
gosh.
he got
Giant, like not giant, but like giant. He's got a lot of growing in there.
packed on. Basically, it was somewhere between 40 and 50 pounds of pure muscle in like 2 to 3 months because of how we went low
Yeah.
carb.
Well, you had to, yeah.
But yeah, so like the first couple months we'd be somewhere like, Mama, what should I eat from all of this? And like they had taco bar stuff, and I was like, just get everything but the chips and tortilla, just pile your plate full of all the meat. And I think we did. No, I think he's not a huge fan of beans. Like I think it had him do like a little bit of rice.
Just enough to give the illusion
Yeah.
that you're having beans and rice or tacos and rice, but you don't need to wrap it in a tortilla. You eat it like a bowl,
Yeah.
quote unquote.
And isn't it funny how when you're eating healthier, people start to question you? But when you're eating all the bread and the chips and the cookies and the bullshit, nobody says anything. But the minute you have a plate full of meat, people are like, why are you just eating meat? Why aren't you having a roll? Why are you blah, blah, blah? Like, shut the fuck up. Why don't you mind your own business and worry about what's on your plate and leave me and my plate alone? Because I'm making whatever choices I want to for my health. But it blows my mind. Like, why aren't you having cake? I don't even like freaking cake at any. I won't get people like, here, have this piece of birthday cake. I'm like, no thanks.
Yep,
Because
me
I
too.
don't like it anymore.
So I'm a cupcake girl strictly because they're cute. You put an adorable cupcake in front of me, I'm gonna eat it because it's adorable, not because per se I like cake or I want cake. Like it is the actual idea of it being a tiny little celebration.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't need all that. I want meat, I want cheese, I want nuts, I want fruits. Like
real food,
yeah,
real fucking food.
and cheese.
How dare you?
That's
real food.
So, and then I go places that like my mom's real worried about me.
But you'll figure it
She's
out.
like, well, they don't have the food you're gonna eat, and but she's like, you had your mom all worried. So like when I came back with my sushi yesterday, she's like, oh, Amanda must have heard what we were having for dinner. Well, one, that was my lunch.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But two, I did, and I know how to feed myself because I know I'm not okay with eating all the other things that were coming with dinner. Like I don't eat salad. I eat nothing green. That's on me. I get that. It's a texture thing. It's not a flavor thing. It is a flavor thing though, because I also don't like things that are green because they taste like chlorophyll.
I actually want to mix something and have you try it when we're done in here. That would be the equivalent of drinking a bunch of greens. And I think it tastes fine, but you can mix it with other stuff too. But it's like the cheater way to have like a morning shot of greens that have all the nutrients in it without having texture.
That'd be amazing because like I can eat fruit and I only eat like 3 vegetables, but like my husband makes fun of me because I do try to have at least fruit, or I try to have those like 3 vegetables. But it's a texture thing. I'm fully a texture eater.
Yeah.
And so I can't actually physically get it down.
And this thing has just like a citrus flavor.
Yeah, okay, I'll try it.
It stinks, but if you're not just smelling it and drinking it,
Yeah,
I feel like the flavor is fine, but I'll drink a lot of weird shit because
I drink vinegar and apple juice, or the apple cider vinegar with honey and a splash of grapefruit juice in it, because it does that detox thing. So no, I drink all kind of weird things. Yeah, and this is a chef, it's not that, it's just the whole concept. Like I would love to feel like I could eat a salad and it would taste good. But it's just never that for me. Everything I try.
Freaking graves vegetables all the time.
Yeah, it's in my meat, cheese, and I believe when I was younger, I had an iron deficiency. I haven't had it looked into like as I've become an adult and like they took care of it. But I feel like my body tells me exactly what I want to eat if I listen to it.
And yours will too, you guys. That's another thing that like is so shut down in our society of actually like not just going and eating whatever fucking advertisement has convinced you need, but actually listening to your body and be like, body, what do you really need in there? Because nobody's body needs fucking fried food and fast food. Like your body needs real nutrients.
Well, yeah, getting a smoothie yesterday, which I know isn't obviously the best because it's commercialized Jamba smoothies, but to get that little bit of like energy and eat sushi instead of eating a fried chicken sandwich and a bag of fries, to me, or a lot of people are like, oh god, that, and I'm full. Like I'm not missing anything. I didn't crave. That is exactly what I wanted. I wanted something fresh, cold, and quick. It was all of those things.
Yeah.
So, and that's how I've always been, and it's hard to be around other people because they want you to eat like them,
Yeah,
and I don't eat like them. I eat a very specific way.
yeah. No, it's like,
And don't get me wrong, I'll go to a restaurant and splurge. I want the appetizer, I want the bread. I may not even finish my meal because I'm not that type. I don't have to finish the plate they put in front of me, which is a lot of people, parents were like, you have to eat everything you put on that plate.
so I think I talk about this in my next book coming up, which I keep telling everybody, I promise it's coming.
Okay, I heard the first one still. Dig
Yeah.
inside to me though, and I just want you to know, the real Joe McIntyre is mine.
No, it's mine. But I believe I talk about it in the next book, that like you have the generation of people from the Depression. So it was like you have to eat everything on your plate because that was fucking it.
Yeah.
You don't know like where the next meal is coming from. So then you get those kids who grew up that way, raising their kids who it's not the Depression anymore. And that cycle hasn't been broken. And then you get to that point, like now there's not scarcity of, I mean, there's scarcity of real organic, not pesticide covered bullshit food. I mean, there's not really, if you
No, not really, not at this point.
on every
2020.
street, like every street corner is all the like, commercialized food that generally is not the healthiest stuff
Yeah.
ever. So there's no shortage of food anymore. And so you can get food basically anytime, like even if you're on like food stamps, there's food all the time, and it's generally not like the healthiest food. But you have all these, this generation of finish everything on your plate. Well, now there's like a million fucking plates of food every day, and if you finish everything that's on your plate and portion sizes are,
They just keep getting bigger because
Yeah.
people want to. That's one of my biggest pet peeves in the restaurant industry.
Give me your thoughts on it.
Oh my god. I want to pay for the amount of food I plan to eat while I'm in that restaurant.
Yes.
And I want you to serve me enough food to feed me
Yeah.
while I'm in that restaurant.
Yeah.
I don't do leftovers, not because I'm bougie. It's some things don't taste good reheated.
Some don't.
There are few and far between that I absolutely love and will eat reheated, don't get me wrong, but as a whole, because I want to eat it when it's fresh, when it's hot, when it's served in the top condition in which it's meant to be eaten.
Yes. Yeah, not taken home and thrown in a microwave, like you can't microwave.
Yeah.
French fries.
Or like Alfredo will never come back unless you put it on the stove and add some cream and just whip it back up, which is fine. But who does that? They put their styrofoam container in the microwave, with all that goes. Yeah, I know, right? And then they eat it, and I'm like, okay. So for me, serve me a portion and I'm going to be full when I leave. Make it the highest quality ingredient. If it needs to be farm to fresh table, if it needs to be vegan, if it needs, whatever those options are. And charge me what it costs with the upcharge of making it with your time and your energy. But don't sell me a plate of pasta this big. And then tell me you gotta pay $15.95 when I know I'm not gonna eat a plate of pasta this big.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna take it home.
You're shaking.
Unedited, they'll be like, this cost.
Look at, but yeah, like they serve, like serving sizes are enough for like 3 or 4 freaking people, like it's insane.
And then they say it's expensive. Well, yeah, because food costs have gone up because so then people feel they have to give you more food to make up for the price.
Yeah, no.
Most people are grocery shopping. Most people, like you said, even if they're on like food stamps or with all those things, like they know how much food costs. They know in their head that eggs have gone up. So the breakfast at the restaurant is going to go up without giving you more eggs.
Yeah.
You can do that responsibly and stop faking it with things like cheap pasta.
Yeah.
Like, I know that pasta, even though it's a lot, cost you like $4 and you still charge me $15.99 and I'm not gonna eat it. So I like things that are perfectly like, this is what you're here for, and if you want the appetizer, get the appetizer. If you want the salad, then you get the salad. You add on to a meal.
Yeah.
You don't have so much food you have to leave with a second.
Okay, until I got sidetracked on nutrition.
So,
Tell me one more before we wrap up, like one more of your like super interesting either ghost experiences
Okay.
or like something that you knew was gonna happen and then happened.
So when we started ghost hunting for real, we had done a couple investigations. I've gone and done an overnight investigation. I've done different places, but so we went to one that was, you could be there all night. It was the well, we're in California, so nobody even cares.
Yeah.
A mental institution in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And it's been on TV. I mean, people know it. Like, if I could think of what I want to say, it was Penhurst, but I know that's not it. So the entire time I was there, I just felt off. Like, and most of the investigations, it's not really a thing. Like, it's okay, we're here, we're there. You're just there to, I go for the history. I go to immerse myself in the environment, the activity, the like entertainment value of it.
Yeah.
So this is the one time where we've gone, paid for an event, you have to pay, of course, to rent the building or to use their equipment, or so you pay for the, out of all the events I paid for, this one event I paid for. And I took my friends, and the entire time we were there were things that happened specifically to me personally, where that way it was very much like usually okay around me or things of that nature, but it started like as soon as we got there, we were like walking and taking pictures, and when I would flash my camera, every other picture would work but this one. So why does one picture in a row of 7 or 8 pictures act up every time I look at it?
Yeah.
They were sitting around in a group and they're like, ask a specific question. Well, for whatever reason, I had looked down and there was a slipper of someone that had been there. And it had his name in it, but it didn't have his name. It was like Jay Smith.
Yeah.
So when it comes to me, I said, "Are you Jay Smith? Is this your sock?" And we got a response. And the guy before that was like, "Well, that was kind of specific," but I was like, "Well, it's only just here."
Yeah.
But he had never seen it. So it was a very weird one-off that every time. So then you go from group to group. They send you into different people that run the club, then take each group. So we go into this one room and they're talking about how important this one room is. We're in there. And the fan's going and the fan's going and the fan's going, and it's been going this whole time. And it just dies. And I said, okay, well, earlier it had been doing that, but it wasn't actually facing me. Like the whole time I thought it was on me. It never was. So it was like twice that fan made itself very clear to me that it was being manipulated in a way I had no control. Because I was like, "Because did you feel like blow in the back of your neck?" And she's like, "No." So right here, like, no. I'm like it oscillated, like, no. And I'm like, not crazy.
Yeah.
And then I had kind of, it scared me. The whole place kind of gave me like, wow. And I wanted to back off and give everybody else around me the ability to enjoy those experiences, because I felt like at that moment, like it was all about me.
Yeah.
I don't ever want anything to be taken away from people around me enjoying an experience. So if they can talk to the ghost, go talk to them. I don't need to talk to them. It's very clear.
Yeah.
But in that moment, the entire night, I felt like there was a specific attention drawn to me. And usually when I'm somewhere and it's weird, I get a headache. And I had to leave because my headache got so bad while I was there that finally I was like, I can't stay anymore, you guys. Like, if I stay anymore, I won't be able to drive home because my migraine will become so bad. I won't be able to see to drive the hour and a half. So it was just a constant one thing after the other, one thing after the other, one thing after the other in that one specific place.
Right.
And with the attachment, I found out that what it was is it was just like a manifestation of a bunch of angry energy I had been carrying around. And it was hanging on to my back and making me even more angry and more outwardly, all the stuff that I had been feeling inside and thought I was keeping very well hidden. I was actually expressing to a lot of people, and the lady had to like do my Reiki, and she's like, I don't ever, I've done it before, but this isn't something you have someone come in for. They don't, she's like, but it was really weird. Like, I blew her radio speaker within 5 minutes of my energy of being in that room.
Yeah.
Friday. She had to go put it in the bathtub and wash it.
Jeez.
So it's, I collect the energy. So I had to find ways to expel it.
Yeah.
But it's a weird, and that one haunted experience was enough for me to continue forever and ever and ever. Because every other one had been like, oh, I might have heard of this, or there might have been a this thing, or there might have been a that thing. This was a one thing after the other, after the other, after the other. And I'm just like, okay, I hear you, heard.
Right.
And now as I think back, it's like, is that when I picked that thing up? Like, I don't know when I got the thing.
Yeah.
And so, or is it like, did I manifest it? I don't know. But it's out there. And what's the thing? Is it somebody else's negative energy just waiting to attach to you? And then adds it. Like, I don't feel this way, but now you do.
Dude, it's fascinating stuff.
Yeah.
Those of you guys who have been listening, if you have any stories or experiences, please reach out and share them, because I actually would love to get more feedback from the audience. And even at a later episode, if you reach out and share things with me, I would love to share them on here, because like, we're not the only ones.
No, and that's why I feel,
Yeah.
Before I felt so like in a box, so legit. You do this, you do that, there's nothing else out there. You go to work, you go home, you do.
Yeah.
That can't be what this is about.
No, like there's so much more to it. And the more of us that like are aware of that, that's the whole collective consciousness.
Yeah.
Like the earth collective consciousness is starting to level up because more of us
And go with it, or you don't. Like, and that's the difference. Like, and before I would have never thought, but now my mind is open, my head is open. I feel like I know more, I've seen more, I can believe, and I can judge less by believing more.
Yeah.
I don't feel as judgmental toward people, or I give people a benefit of a doubt that I may not have given them before, because I don't know, you don't know, and you haven't experienced it. So until you live it or do it or feel it, you don't know. You can be like, yeah, okay, you made that up.
Right.
You're crazy.
Right.
But if it happened to me, it happened to me, and I have to own that. No one else does.
Yeah.
No one carries that but me.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're gonna end it here.
Sounds good.
Even though I know Amanda and I
But yeah, we could go for hours.
friggin' Joe Rogan style for like 3+ hours.
Someday you get to Joe Rogan's status, and then I'll come on and I'll be Post Malone, and you can be Joe Rogan. Okay.
Done.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah.
If you guys actually want to reach out to Amanda, is that it?
Yeah, they can talk to me.
So where can they find you? On social media is probably the easiest way.
Yeah, let me see if.
And actually, I can attach Amanda's usernames to the comments of wherever you're finding this posted. Because remember, this is on YouTube, video style, recording only on Anchor and Spotify. And like, subscribe, share. If you found this helpful, make sure to share it out there with anyone that you think would benefit from any of this information. And yeah,
I'm just trying to see if, does it just say Waldock?
It's whatever at Amanda Waldo. Yeah.
I'm as easy as they come.
I'll share it on there so you guys have the correct spelling.
Yeah, but yeah,
Amanda's
is that in Facebook or the same? The Facebook I turned into Sue. We're getting old. I have the Facebook, but no, I have both of those, and there's just been whatever they've been since the day they came out. Like I still have my phone number from when I lived here. Nothing has changed. I have the same Yahoo email address that I've had since I was 12 years old.
I've accumulated more because my Hotmail address is not appropriate. When I started sending my kids to school, I was like, oh, I need an email address. Is 269 in your emails. All right, thank you for listening, guys, and we will talk more soon.